And in session 2, we're going to talk about, like I said, expectations of the program, interviewing nuts and bolts of the program, what you have to get into me, when, that type of thing. So this is the syllabus and the content. So now you're into your PowerPoint, and that is the green sheet. Okay? If you have questions as I go along, please let me know. So we've gone over the purpose. Excuse me. The administrative process of the program is as such. The program is directed by me, the Director of Career Planning and Student Employment, and in collaboration and partnership with an Apple faculty committee. And so tomorrow I'll go over all of the forms that you need to get into me. Okay, when you go on the interview, I'm going to ask you to list some objectives of what you want to accomplish on this particular site. And we call that a job plan. So I'll go into that tomorrow. But once you turn that into me, then it also goes to the Apple committee for buy-off. Because we want to know, we want to make sure that this is a doable project for you. So we do a lot of work up front because we want to set you up for a win-win situation. We want the business to be happy as much as possible, and we want you to be happy as much as possible. And that job plan just says, okay, this is where my mind is right now regarding this particular business site. So when you go in your interview, you have the job plan. That person that you're interviewing with has a copy of that job plan. So the two of you have dialogue about that. If it needs tweaking, clarifying expectations takes place at the beginning rather than 3 or 4 weeks into this thing, and you're left saying, I didn't know I was supposed to do this. So I have found over the years that when placing undergraduates, it's best to put the two parties together and have some kind of grounding document so the two of you can have dialogue. Because that interviewer can say, okay, I see you have this on your list of objectives. Well, understand this site. We probably can't accommodate this particular objective, but here are alternatives. So you can tweak your objectives. And the time to do it is up front. So that's how you set the playing field for a win-win situation as much as possible. And it's been successful. So at the end, you turn in a paper, double-spaced, 6 to 10 pages. And I'll tell you tomorrow exactly what to put in those parts. It's not a research paper. It's just a reflection paper with some parts, introduction, method, results, that kind of thing. And I'll tell you what goes in there. But this is something that you turn in to me. When you turn in your paper to me, then it also goes to the Apple committee because they read the paper. Not a scientific paper. It's not an APA or MLA form. It's just a report. It's a reflection paper. So it's a doable thing. But they have to be able to read the thing. I mean, you know. So this bears repeating. Prerequisites for the Apple program: you must be a student in good standing. And I've checked your records, and you are. You must have at least 61 credit hours. Check your records, and you do have that. You have a cumulative GPA or a minimum of 2.0. You have confirmed your major. And transfer students, if you're a transfer student, you must have a minimum of 15 CSU credit hours, which means that you have had to earn 15 credit hours here at Charleston Southern University. And then, of course, you have to complete Part 1 and Part 2 of this workshop, the Apple workshop. All of this built into the syllabus, approved by the curriculum committee for this course. The requirements for you prior to interview. You have to register on the Buck Career Network. You've got instructions for that. I'll go through the website with you. You must register, and then you must submit your job site choices. That's on that blue sheet, so that I could know what businesses you're interested in. And if some of you are interested in a business that's not on that Buck Career Network, there's a place there for you to tell me that too. Now is the time to do that because I have to conduct a site visit, and it has to be an approved site visit with the agreement of the Apple Committee before you're placed anywhere. So now we have time to do that. Summer 2 begins July 2nd. And then, of course, fall is a ways away. But you have until the 31st of May to do these things. To register, to submit your job choices to me, to upload your resume for approval, to make sure that it is an approved resume, and you have to do a mock interview. How many of you have done a mock interview in career planning? Right. On interview stream or just in person?
In person.
In person. So for this course, you will have to go onto our website, charlestonsouthern.edu/careers with an S on the end, and you will have to register for our time. It's just 30 minutes, and if you don't have one of those little webcams, we have an interview room in our department. So when you register for a time that's available, once you go into it, use your ID and PIN again. You have to create an account. You will see the times it's available. When you register for a time, 30 minutes. So you come to our office, and we put you in the interview room. And there is actually a person on there that will ask you questions. Now, when you register, it will give you the opportunity to select categories like I want to do a practice interview for med school, or an entry-level management position, or mid-level, or upper level, or dental school, or whatever. It has multiple categories. Or you can elect to say random. Just ask me random questions, and let me be surprised. And you can actually do this at any time. Anytime you want to, if you find a time on there. Once you reserve the time, we've got that information. Okay? And then you come to the Career Center and just say, I'm here to do my interview, my mock interview on interview stream. And they'll check you in, and you go in the room and have at it. And there's a little clock right on the flat screen that'll say, okay, you got 25, and it counts you down, so you know exactly where you are. So then you can really monitor, if you want to repeat a certain question and answer it again, you can kind of monitor your time and go back and do that as well. It's an excellent tool because there's so many people on campus that I've dealt with that have all the qualifications but lack the articulation skills. I mean, you cannot project what's in here. So it's a learned skill. Some people can just rattle off. But most people, you have to practice, and you have to look at yourself in doing it. So once you do that, a copy of that video within 45 minutes or so will be emailed directly to your email address. Okay? And we're running our freshman students through this. So we're inundated with students coming in to do these mock interviews. And in their freshman career planning class, spring section, they get the interview, and then they forward that video to their professor so that they can critique it. And the campus utilized this. And once they go into interview stream, we always say we have a copy of every video. So if a student wants us to give them feedback on their video, we can do that as well. But we used to sit down one-on-one with every student who wanted to do a mock interview. So this is a way to reach the masses with a limited staff. Okay, so you can do this. You can anytime you're applying for a new job or changing careers, you can do this. It's a wonderful tool. So you must do that. And we're here to assist you. The job plan objective, I talked to you about that. That we need that for every job that you interview for. We need to know where your head is. I sign it, that form, and I'll go over with you. Go over this with you tomorrow. But that's a very important piece, and I've already explained to you why it is. Sets you and the business and us up and the program for a win-win situation. And like I said, the deadline, if you are participating in this program in summer 2, the deadline is 31st. fall, it's the 31st, so you want to keep that in mind. The sooner we get your choices of business sites, the better. Okay. Any questions about that so far?
With the mock interview, do you still come dressed professional?
Yes. At least from the waist up. When you see the demo, you'll see this guy twirling around, suit, tie, and then the camera scans his body, and he has shorts on. Suit, tie, shorts. So, yeah, just remember, it's going to videotape you from top up. I mentioned that on campus we have decentralized programs, internship programs. You know, nursing, like I said, it's different. I mean, they have practicums. Teaching, School of Education has practicums, but we have a number of, these are my partners. So I think I have gotten referrals other than from nursing and education because they have their own practicum programs, referrals from these departments. And I value their partnership. So as we continue, here are some things I want you to consider. Consider what you want to gain from this experience personally. What is it that you want to gain from this experience? I know you're going to get 3 general elective credits. And by the way, that means that it's not going to be calculated into your GPA or class rank. It's pass-fail. So what do you want to get from this experience personally? Okay? And then I want you to consider the fact that internship positions often lead to full-time employment. If not with the company that you're interning with, possibly another company, because it's a small world. And I always tell students that HR managers are a close-knit group. They know each other. They meet monthly. They operate what we call a cost center rather than a for-profit center. So they are constantly looking at that bottom line because it costs money to rehire people and rehire people. Today, in the 21st century, businesses cannot get the information that they need on new hires from a simple reference call. Because legally, a business can only say, yes, they worked here. They don't have to tell them when, they definitely can't tell them if you were a good employee or not. They can't even say these days whether they would rehire you or not. Simply that they worked for you. So when they are screening you, they have to go through other means. They're going through behavioral kind of testing to find out if you're the best fit for the position, a number of things. They network off the record, and you need to know that. If I'm an HR manager and I network with you every month and I have an employee that's going to work for you, list you as an employer on their application, and I need some information, if I have a relationship with you, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call you. So I need to know. I need to know what kind of person this is. And another thing that businesses are doing now, and I didn't mention in the last class, but the businesses are doing is they're going to MySpace and Facebook. So they interview you, and they want to know, okay, they know the person that they're interviewing, but also they go to Facebook and MySpace and, you know, they'll ask you questions. Are you registered on, you ever heard of MySpace or you ever heard of Facebook? And if you say yes or if you say no, they can find out. They can find out. So they'll go, okay, this is the person I interviewed, but let me see the real person. So I always tell students, please be careful. In our freshman advocacy program, I sent an email around, caused a little stir, but it's true, because I had just gotten an article in my Career Counselor magazine that said, you know, here's a new practice for businesses all over America. To find out about new hires, a practice for them now is to go to MySpace and Facebook. I want to know the real you, okay? Do they tell you that? I don't think so. But, you know, that's a transition. So when you go on MySpace or Facebook,